The NBA is setting up something huge for one of their biggest rivalries going into the next season, and it premierly highlights none other than the New York Knicks with a former playoff rival. While also, we have a huge update on a Knicks prospect as well, and we are going to break all this down. A lot to go over, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. Guys, if you're part of that 59% that is not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks updates. We have a lot of Knicks news coming out as things are starting to get a little more lively as we're closing in on everything really getting going for basketball, and it's very exciting because, like all of you, I am really struggling without basketball. Watching other sports just is not the same. But let's jump into this video. There is a lot to go over right now as the NBA is setting up something huge between two of its premier teams going into next season. As we know, the New York Knicks had an excellent run last year that led to them really being in the marketing more than any other before. The NBA did a great job of that last year by highlighting a potential Knicks versus Celtics rivalry, something that saw the Boston Celtics absolutely dismantle the Knicks 3 of the 4 regular season games, and then have one other close game that the Celtics would also go on to win before, the New York Knicks eliminated the Boston Celtics in 6 games in one of the most exciting playoff series in recent memory that saw an excellent upset to a Boston Celtics team that was minus 900 to win that series. That is an absolutely insane odds break. If you don't understand odds, effectively what that means is to win $100, you would have to bet $900. So that's not a good financial investment, and for those who did make that mistake, sucks to be you. The Knicks were plus 500 in that, meaning if you bet $100, you would win 500. There's your gambling lesson on the day. Please gamble responsibly and do not blame me for your gambling addiction. But the NBA is setting up something absolutely huge between its two now premier teams in the Eastern Conference. With the Boston Celtics without Jason Tatum and making some serious changes to sort of retool over a year, and the Indiana Pacers being without Tyrese Halliburton due to the Achilles injury and Miles Turner due to being a Milwaukee Buck, we're now seeing a completely new top-of-the-league regime between the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the NBA is doing everything in their power to highlight that rivalry, and things are about to get crazy, hence the sirens outside my apartment right now. As the preseason schedule was also released, the Knicks will be playing the Philadelphia 76ers twice to kind of ignite that rivalry. That's how things are starting off, before playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, who they usually play quite often, the Washington Wizards, who they play quite often, and the Charlotte Hornets, who they also play quite often. Now, the 76ers games, they're in Abu Dhabi. That's really just all I have to say there. There's not that much else. Knicks, they rep the in Abu Dhabi thing. It's their sponsor, so the Knicks will go to Abu Dhabi. There's some big murals out in the sand already over there, which is kind of cool to look at. You could look it up online or on Twitter. You could definitely find it. It's pretty cool. Just wanted to highlight that real quick. But as Tommy Beer mentioned, we now know some of the games that are played in the regular season. October 22nd, opening night for the New York Knicks. The Cleveland Cavaliers will come into MSG for the first game of each of those two teams' season. Meanwhile, on December 25th, the Cleveland Cavaliers will return to MSG for the NBA's first Christmas Day game. The 12 p.m. Christmas Day game always features the New York Knicks in some capacity. Their opponent usually does switch around quite often. Last year, we saw Victor Wembanyama go to MSG. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs go to MSG, where Mikal Bridges had arguably the best game of his season, probably the second best of that Portland Trailblazers game where he hit the buzzer beater, where the Knicks ultimately would beat them behind an excellent game from Mikal Bridges on the first Christmas Day game of the day. The Knicks, once again, as per usual, first Christmas Day game, they'll be beating the Cleveland Cavaliers that day for a Merry, Merry Christmas for all of us. So, honestly, guys, there's only one thing to do. You might, if you followed the channel for a bit, you would recognize this. I hope my voice stayed on the mic. I think it did. But for that, we will have the Knicks miss going the entire time. I will do a post-game video, as always, on the whole Knicks miss game, and we'll be having a lot of fun for it. I missed this hat, man. I got it when the Knicks actually played the Cavs in December one time. I was with my buddy Connor. He invited me to a Knicks game because he had 2 extra tickets. It was a good time. I went with my mom. It was really cool. She got me this hat. She got my buddy Connor one as well. But that's not the point of this. I just wanted to shout him out because he's a good friend. Still is. I still know the guy all these years later. And that was in 8th grade. But when it comes down to it, for the New York Knicks, we do see this team get matched up with the Cavs in two of the biggest games on the season, and that is no surprise there. The Eastern Conference favorites to win the conference go, as we're going to make that bigger so I could read it a little easier and so you can read it as well. The Cleveland Cavaliers are plus 250. Remember the odds thing? That means you bet $100 to win $250 on the Cavs. The lowest amount you would win by betting $100. In turn, it means you get the most by betting on the Brooklyn Nets, where you'd win $50,000, or the Washington Wizards or Charlotte Hornets, who are all at the bottom there. But the real important thing is here, the Knicks and the Cavs are the two clear-cut favorites. The Knicks are just barely behind the Cavs to win the Eastern Conference right now, with the Orlando Magic behind them and then the Atlanta Hawks behind them. Now, the top five closes out with the Philadelphia 76ers, but the Sixers and the Hawks are both way more longer shots, while the Magic definitely are a bit behind as well, as it's really between the Knicks and the Cavs. Obviously, we know in the NBA anything can happen. The Indiana Pacers came out of nowhere last year. It wouldn't be surprising to see another team just really break out, and if I had to pick one, I'd say it's probably the Hawks or the 76ers. I'm not expecting anything insane. Maybe the Milwaukee Bucks as well, just because Giannis exists, and you can never really count out Giannis, or the Heat if they make some sort of trade, which is always possible. But when it comes down to it, it is between the Knicks and the Cavs at the end of the day, and we are going to see this rivalry fully really get underway, because that's what the NBA is intending to do here. I mean, we understand what's happening. It's clear. They're just trying to ignite a rivalry between the top two teams in the Eastern Conference this year, the expected top two teams in the Eastern Conference. I love that the NBA is doing this. I think it's great for basketball. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, as a quick little other thing just to mention real quick, the Knicks do have the Mavericks visit them on Martin Luther King Day. That's always a big day for basketball, that Monday. That's at 5 p.m. Make sure not to miss it. It's not at 7, and on top of that, Kyrie Irving might be back by then. It's also Cooper Flagg's MSG debut. Cooper Flagg, number 1 overall pick last year. That'll be an interesting game as well to go ahead and watch and see. Now, with all that in mind, we also have a bit more to talk about with the Knicks. And highlighting this matchup between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks, we see the Knicks' top three players. And Jalen Brunson, who put up 26 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 50% from nearly 50% from the field, and 38% from 3. Karl-Anthony Towns, who puts up 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 42% from 3 and 52% from the field. And to round out this big three, there's OG Anunoby, putting up 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, getting a block and 1.5 steals per game, shooting 37% from 3 and 47% from the field, being one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Now, on the other side of things, we see Donovan Mitchell lead the Cleveland Cavaliers with his 24 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 37% from 3 and 47.5% on those corner threes, where he's absolutely electric. I don't know how Donovan Mitchell is already about to be 29 years old, and it absolutely hurts my soul in ways that it's hard to explain. Speaking of great defenders, the reigning defensive player of the year is also on the Cleveland Cavaliers, putting up 18.5 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 37% from 3, as well as Evan Mobley is really starting to figure it out at the NBA level, which is scary for everyone, including Knicks fans. And Darius Garland, who has been an all-star before, picked one selection after RJ Barrett, one selection after RJ Barrett. Darius Garland put up 20 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds per game, shooting 40% from the field, or 47% from the field and 40% from 3. Very talented player there. And we have another update as well to go over with the Knicks, as it was revealed that Rokas Jokubaitis, who is a New York Knicks prospect who they own the draft rights to, after drafting him before Deuce McBride in the second round in 2021, has just signed with Bayern Munich until 2028, effectively solidifying the fact that Rokas Jokubaitis will never be coming over to the NBA, and that means never coming over to the New York Knicks. This pick ended up being burned by the Knicks after all. Luckily, they did end up drafting Deuce McBride, which softens the blow, and you see just over time in the EuroLeague, he has gotten better and better, putting up 7.5 points, 8 points, and then 7.5 again before putting up 11 points when he moved over to the Israeli League, and now he goes to Germany to continue his NBA journey away from the NBA. So we won't see Jokubaitis ever suit up for the Knicks after all. He'll just be another guy who the Knicks own the draft rights to, which Leon Rose actually loves to do. Guys, this hat is making my head sweat like crazy. So if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Get ready. This season's going to be fun. We got a rivalry with the Cavs. Go Knicks.